Welcome to What's the Stack? I'm Emily Conaghan.
And I'm Carly Shearman. Every day as tech recruiters, we're asking the question, what's the stack? So we thought we'd bring that question to life by asking some of our favourite Brisbane tech friends what their stack is over a stack of pancakes in Brisbane's iconic church-turned 24/7 pancake restaurant, the Pancake Manor. If you were watching last week, we met with Nick Pestov and Greg Le-Sueur from TeachData. Nick is the engineering manager and Greg is the head of product, and we had a really great conversation with them about all things tech and product at TeachData and in the Brisbane ecosystem as well. We're going to pick that conversation back where we left it off in a special two-part episode. So if you haven't seen episode 1, go back and see that. But otherwise, we're going to head inside and see Nick and Greg again. Let's go. So before we dive right in, tell us a bit more about TeachData.
We provide a library of resources to help primary school teachers prepare and deliver lessons in the classroom. I didn't realise before starting, but primary school teachers are spending around about 2 to 3 hours at the end of every day doing this work on top of everything else that they have to do. And so giving them access to a library of resources helps them they can focus more on customising the content for their students as opposed to creating the content from scratch.
Now, the reason why we wanted to interview you both together is that relationship between tech and product. So can you tell us why that relationship is so important and to make sure, those two departments work cohesively?
Yeah, it's so important to, as well, have that mutual respect for each other's disciplines. For example, I'm a big fan of product. I constantly watch and observe on how product decisions get made. That fascinates me, and I'm super excited to be there to witness all of that. And I also want to work with people who have sort of the same level of excitement about engineering, and they want to see how things get built and the process and everything. So I think, if you find yourself in an environment where that collaboration happens and it's vibrant, then that's the best.
How do you make sure that there's a beautiful working relationship between tech and products that's really symbiotic and working really well?
The short answer is collaboration and trust, and you get a lot of that through proximity and through processes and how you've kind of structured your org and the team and all the rest of that.
Yeah, and I guess the inverse of that question, and maybe you've seen it before, but why do you think there are tech and product teams that struggle to kind of work cohesively, and have you seen an example of that?
It's when a business looks at their technology department as a cost center as opposed to a revenue generating model. That's where things can kind of, tech's just the thing that they sprinkle on at the end as a necessary component now for doing business, as opposed to treating it as core to they're a tech business that happens to also now do ed tech for us.
Changing track a little bit, I think this is probably the first time we've had a subscription-based platform on What's the Stack. Talk to us about how that impacts your decisions from a development and a product perspective, having a subscription-based platform.
The runway is nice, so we've already got a third of Australian teachers on it, and that income is really dependable and reliable, churn's really low, and so that helps us with our future kind of, at the moment we're expanding into the US, and that expansion wouldn't be possible if we didn't have that subscription income coming in. Also, for me as well, I've gone from a very transactional-based business into a subscription business, and so while retention was front of mind then, it's even more so here because you have to, particularly in the US where we're trialing monthly plans, whereas in Australia it's a yearly plan. And with the monthly plans, we're getting a lot higher uptake, so the growth rate is higher, but the churn's also a little bit higher, so you really have, you've got 30 days to prove value to build that habit loop. And that's been, very interesting part of doing it.
So, before we go into the short stack, our final question for this kind of portion is, what emerging tech trend are you most excited about? Nick, we'll start with you.
Augmented reality, because I think we're barely scratching the surface on that and what's possible in that space. There's just so many applications that I can think of right now with AR as opposed to VR that we haven't explored fully yet, and there's just, especially with technology, ed tech as well, and just augmenting and adding layers of knowledge and information, just-in-time knowledge and information to our day-to-day lives. There's a lot of opportunities there. That's super exciting to me.
Yeah, absolutely. And Greg, for you?
One of the other things that I'm excited about is what Elon Musk is working on with his Neurolink brain implants, which basically turn you into a wizard. So it's essentially trying to map the connections that you've got in your brain, at first to cure diseases like Alzheimer's, and then eventually to use as basically you think it and things happen, provided it's all connected by Internet of Things.
What was your favourite subject in school?
Art, history, economics, one of the three.
History of economics?
No, all three. I don't know.
History
I can't choose between
And what
them.
was the third one?
Art, history, and economics.
Oh, I thought you said history and economics, all three. And I was like, I don't know if you went well in economics.
Wow.
History for me.
Nice.
Ancient or
That's a
modern?
common thing.
Both.
Yeah.
In a hypothetical world, I give you $1 million over a year to do any job, but you must do a job. What would you choose?
$1 million a year to do any job.
Any job.
Head of product at Teach Data.
I mean, I like my job.
Yeah, that's great.
I just want to do more of what I'm doing now. Traveling around at the same time would be nice as well.
Yeah.
Have you ever made a prank call?
Yes.
Yes,
Great.
lots of them.
Okay. Finish the phrase, the way to my heart is.
Neuralink?
Nice.
What's your favourite emoji?
The one that I use the most is the one with the guy smiling with the sweat coming out of his forehead.
Which is very telling.
The bolt.
Nice.
yeah.
I don't know why. I just use it a lot.
Make a prediction for 2023.
I hope 2023 would be what we hope 2022 would be.
Or 2021.
Or 2021.
Only March.
2020.
Yeah. Yeah.
We can turn
And so
around.
far, it's had a real good start.
Yeah, really strong start. And final question to wrap us up. What do you love about having a career in tech?
It's a journey, and it's an exciting one, and there's so much happening. I think the growth of technology, we're like living through unprecedented times in terms of like how fast technology is evolving and what's possible, and we're breaking barriers, redefining entire industries, disrupting things, and all of that is super exciting. And it's sort of like you wake up every day and there's something new happening.
It's that creative mix between, business and creativity. Like you can problem solving and it's like, I guess, modern day inventing, right? So I don't think that there's very few probably other industries where you can have this much kind of autonomy and freedom and also just get to work on really cool stuff.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us for season 2 of What's the Stack. We've loved having you both on in our first duo.
First duo.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Woo!